I was 37 when I gave birth to Jay, and 37 weeks and 4 days into my pregnancy, and it was a 37-hour labour, so a number that I won't forget. I was incredibly lucky to give birth to Jay because I had had such a struggle with infertility, and eventually when I found myself pregnant, it was probably one of the most scariest kind of times of my life. Actually, I was incredibly happy, but all the same quite nervous because I'd had a previous miscarriage which sort of unsettled me throughout the pregnancy. However, this isn't about scaring anybody. I think it's incredible to go through the process. The actual labour itself, well, I'd just finished work actually. I'd finished work a week, I think it was a week or so before. I stopped working in my full-time job, and I'd had my baby shower the following day at home, which was lovely, really special. So on the actual day when my labour started, my husband and I decided to go into the local town and to look for some curtains. I don't know why, it was just kind of a spontaneous decision. Not very exciting, but we had planned an evening out together, and my husband had booked tickets to see Gravity at the IMAX at London Waterloo. So it was an evening showing, we went along. I was experiencing pains and aches throughout the day, but I'd put that down to Braxton Hicks. And as soon as I got to the cinema, my contractions started, but I didn't know. And I sat and watched the film in pain, but I wanted to make sure I watched the film. Basically, when we got home, we called the hospital. They told me to take paracetamol and go to sleep. But I couldn't sleep because I was in a lot of pain. So during my labour at home, I spent some time in a warm bath while my husband counted the time between the contractions. We had some sort of music playing, I don't remember what, but it was supposedly to help me. Panic set in and I wasn't ready. I just felt like I wasn't ready, which was strange because, you know, I was technically at full term, but I kept thinking of my due date, and I don't know why, but I just thought, you know, this can't be happening now. I've got a few weeks. Anyway, I went into hospital and I was sent back home as I wasn't ready, which made it even worse because I then realised that it was this bad pain-wise. You know, how bad was it going to get? And it did get very bad. There is little that you can do other than sort of breathe and try and get through the contractions. So as soon as I was on the unit, I asked for pain relief. I was one of these people who said I didn't want anything, I wanted it to be natural. However, I couldn't actually have an epidural as the anaesthetist had actually gone to an emergency, and so I was told that I'd have to wait for about 7 hours. The water bath was something I'd really wanted to experience. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. I was sick during the gas and air phase, so it was decided that I wouldn't be able to go in. That was okay, I guess. I just had to accept that that was the way things were going. I did have an epidural after the 7 hours of waiting, and that obviously cut the pain and made the process slightly comfortable. Unfortunately, I faced a difficult period when my son's heartbeat stopped on the monitor and I could see sort of the numbers going down, down, down. When the emergency button was pushed, that for me was probably the most scariest point, I think, in my life that I've ever experienced, because I couldn't actually comprehend what was happening other than something wasn't right. And the doctors came in and moved me from side to side just to see if we could get his heartbeat going up again. That was incredibly frightening, as you can imagine, because I think it was the first time I'd kind of thought that there was a possibility that I might be leaving the hospital without a baby, which is very difficult, especially when, you know, you've kind of struggled throughout the pregnancy to sort of understand that that might happen. Obviously you don't want that to happen, but it's just a thought that sort of goes through your head. Fortunately, he was okay, but then his heartbeat stopped again, and at that point they then realised that they had to act very quickly, and the decision was made for me to then to sort of go ahead and have an episiotomy and a forceps delivery, which was not what I wanted, but I knew I had to have that, and so it was done. And I was able to see my son. I will never forget that. That was probably will be the highlight in my life, really, getting to see Jay. And we didn't name him until a few days afterwards, actually, but we were just so happy to finally hold our baby. A couple of products that helped me with the recovery after the episiotomy were things like arnica, which are tiny little pills, or pilules, if that's how you pronounce it. This helped with the recovery, with the bruising, and I did take that and I found it quite useful. I also had this item, which is the donut cushion, which I kind of laugh at now. Obviously I wasn't laughing at the time, but it did help greatly with just, you know, being comfortable when sitting down and having to sort of breastfeed, and just kind of have some comfort, because it is a difficult time and you need all the comfort you can get. So this was really useful to have, I found. Another product that helped me was lanolin, which is kind of reminds me of Vaseline, but it's much thicker in consistency, and it helped with breastfeeding, and this was actually quite useful for just general skin that's sore. So I used these items. I think these three were my best friends, as well as Jay. If you are expecting, congratulations. If you're due to give birth soon, best of luck. I'm sure it will go well. Just breathe and imagine the end result, which is incredible. So good luck, and hope to see you next time.